Hello and welcome back. It's me, and today we're discussing the history of rights. I thought it was an interesting topic. Maybe not that interesting, but kind of interesting. Sorry if you're a big fan of rights, I guess. Anyway, let's get into it. Today we have cursed. Nice. So this challenge is all about getting hurt walking through doors, but I've got some nice bonuses here. Oh, gross. Okay. You know, I might as well check the secret room. Not secret room, this room. Well, that wasn't worth it at all. Oh well. Anyway, let's talk about rights, and not lefts. Human rights are fairly recent, all things considered, but you could argue that they go back thousands of years, just that they weren't very explicitly defined until much more recently. Rights themselves evolved out of citizenship, which itself evolved out of more general systems of justice, you know? And I don't like the fact that I didn't get a good item in the first item room, but hopefully it won't matter. I was also really hoping for a bomb at some point. There's a bomb. Don't like this. Not with my little weak health. Damage, not health. I have plenty of health. Anyway, let me mention that you could argue that rights existed in, like, the Code of Hammurabi and such, but rights themselves, in my opinion at least, from reading it over, were first more explicitly defined with, say, the Romans, although they weren't necessarily the first. But they're pretty clear, at least. I am glad I went there. And I'll even do me one more and go over here. Although I'd need to line this up, and I'm usually not great at it. I told you I wasn't great at it. I should have just went for the... Also, how did that not explode? It's right here. Ugh. Oh well. Almost enough. Almost fast enough to make it through 2 doors. Anyway, I'm mostly going to be focusing on the Romans. Because, of course, why not? Isn't it simply the nature of every man to think about the Roman Empire constantly? Oh. So the Romans had a number of laws, of course. I mean, a lot of Roman laws were inspirational even millennia later. And fun fact, Western Europe practiced Roman laws up until the 1800s. Now, granted, that was the Holy Roman Empire, so, you know, I understand why they practiced Roman law with that name, but still, surprising. To me, at least. Get out of here. But the Romans had, from what I could tell, 3 different types of laws, broadly speaking, although they were all sort of collected together in one big collection. It's just 3 different ways to divide it up, I guess. And yeah, I'll check what's in here. Yuck. I regret that. I will be checking these. There's a slim chance of getting hearts. I got a penny. Cool. Am I gonna have to restart? I don't want to do that. But I do have a lot to talk about today. Anyway. Uh-oh. Time to focus. Focus up. I want to get this guy dead. Get him dead now. Good. Oh, I want that. I really want that. Oh. Ugh. This run kind of smelly, you know? Anyway, again, there are, broadly speaking, it seems 3 different types of Roman laws. Ow. The first is jus naturale, which is natural right. The second is jus gentium, which is the... Oh, wait a minute. Actually, not a bad item for me, all things considered. Am I really gonna do this to myself? On the very last one. Well, hold on, I don't have any, I'm gonna die, aren't I? So... Yeah, I am. I'm dead. Bye-bye. Let's hope for something good. Oh, yeah. That's way better already. Ah! I probably can't make that. Let me just use that there, and then use this here, and beautiful. Look at all of the health I managed to save with that shortcut. I don't like this room very much. Personally, I'm just not a fan of it. Yay, more bombs. Also, being able to get health from explosions, massive. Uh-oh. Ah, whatever. Okay, time to actually read, since it shouldn't be too hard to fight these guys. So again, jus naturale, which is natural rights. Then there are jus gentium, which are the laws pertaining to people in the Roman Empire, whereas jus naturale are more general for everyone in the world. Jus gentium, excuse me, didn't necessarily only refer to Roman citizens, though. It could refer to foreigners living in Rome or even traveling through Rome. And then lastly, oh, very nice, there is jus civile, which is civil law. Civile, I guess it would be pronounced. So, The Institutes, a book by Emperor Justinian. Also... Okay. Can I get a key, please? The Institutes mentions, somewhat infamously, that slavery should not be considered a part of natural rights, but should be considered part of rights for people. As an institution, it is part of their society. It is something that, again, Emperor Justinian... Whoa. Key. Let me save the Joker. Oh, come on. Whatever. More bombs. Okay. I'm a fan. I'm down. So, again, that's an awkward way to put it, but basically Emperor Justinian says that slavery as an institution is defined by the list of laws applied to Roman citizens and foreigners as well, not just citizens. But that it shouldn't be considered a natural law because it's man-made, which is ironic. Wait, yeah. I'm glad I did that. Also, I should go maybe to the shop. Yeah, I think that's the move. Yeah. Wait, oh, there's a third. Pandora's box. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, I think that was a good idea. I hope. I was hoping that would be a nickel. Oh well. Anyway. Let's see. It really just started in the Renaissance era. That's a awkward way to word that sentence. It really wasn't until the Renaissance era when the thinking that civil laws should be built on natural laws. Wait a minute, that is amazing for me. What? Well, I can go back and buy the key. This is just infinite money. And key. And yes, there is still plenty of health in the past few rooms, so I'm not too worried. Also, I can blow myself up. I was really kind of hoping that it would explode and give me the, you know, the bag, whatever, the blood bag. The good one, not the bad one. But yes, back to the Renaissance. Well, we are quite at the Renaissance. I'm gonna stay on Roman laws for a while longer, but... Oh, come on. No, you wanna... I guess you didn't. Cool. It wasn't until the Renaissance that people came up with the concept that natural laws should be more fundamental than civil laws, and civil laws should be based on natural laws, or incorporate them in some way. Because, again, Justinian's, I said, again. I mean, I've said it a few times now, but still. Justinian's stance on slavery felt a bit contradictory. It certainly does in the modern era, when we look at him saying that. Hit 8. Well... Do I care that much about going to the devil right now? Not really. It wouldn't... I mean, I could get some devil deal items, I guess. You know what? Sure. I think that's not terrible. And now I can keep the tower. Actually, yeah, that's not bad for me. Ooh, yeah, I'll go in here. Okay. More cards for me, but not for thee. Because you are a viewer, a listener. Another the tower, and the moon. Ooh, I do enjoy the Jawbreaker, but I don't have the luck for that. But I will just circumnavigate straight over here. Let's see, so Roman rights, again, weren't really explicitly rights in the same sense as we understand them today. It wasn't like there was a Roman Bill of Rights, and some of them are kind of weird, so let me give you some examples. Ow. You stay away. Ow. There we are. I almost... Nah, I'm not in the mood to gamble like that again. I already gambled once. And apparently lost. Whoa! Double shot. Nice. Some Roman quote-unquote rights. I mean, they are rights, but they're just not presented as rights as we know them. Are the right to reclaim land, the right to use rivers. That's a bit vague, but whatever. The right to possessions and property. Yes, please. Absolutely. And you. The right of a father to put his children to death, and the, sorry, what? Yeah. Yeah, that was an actual right. And the right of a parent of 3 or more children, or, if you're a freed person, to, first of all, have a triple allowance of grain, free grain, that is, but also if you are a man, you were exempt from compulsory service, which is this is getting into a real tangent here, but compulsory service could be anything meant for the public, from sponsoring contests to quartering soldiers in your house. Uh-oh. No! Ah! Maybe I'll just have to do without any more devil deals. Probably for the best. Whoa. Why did I get Guppy's head? Wait, I didn't even collect the bone heart. Let's get that first. I probably won't be able to keep it. Not for very long. Let's see. So, again, if you had 3 or more children... Now, this law didn't exist for the entirety of the Roman Empire, but for part of it, at least, if you had 3 or more children and you were a man, you were exempt from compulsory services, which could be sponsoring contests to quartering soldiers. I already said that part, but I'll say it again. But if you were a woman, it meant you were no longer subject to tutelage, otherwise called guardianship. So, here's a real tangent for you. Yeah, I'll go check out what both of the secret rooms are doing over here. Think? Oh, maybe this was a bad idea. Oh, no. It only heals half? I thought it healed a full heart. Huh. Yeah, I'll check out what's in here, because they're both over here. Whoa, no. As much as Guppy would be great, I'm gonna say no. Sure, whatever. I'll use it there. Yeah, heal me, idiot. So, yeah, tutelage. Hela, also known as guardianship, who was personified, or rather conceived of, as a goddess during Imperial Rome, was also a legal practice by which women sort of got their rights through a man. Well, specifically, the expectation in Rome was that women would get their rights through the male head of her family, first of all. But if, for whatever reason, she was, and the term here is legally emancipated, if she was legally emancipated from her family, meaning no longer subject to the head of her family, then she would need to have a, I'll take it. Yeah, that's not bad. She would legally have or she required even a tutor assigned to her. Oh, it was half a heart there, cool. So a tutor or guardian was more or less like an adopted legal representative, I guess, or legal guardian, you know, because we're talking about guardians. And the reason why a woman needed a tutor in ancient Rome, particularly between the 2nd century BCE and the 2nd century CE, was that a woman, well, First of all, guardians existed for minors, but also, in the time period I mentioned, a woman was not considered part of her husband's family, she was considered part of her birth family. And so if the head of that family died, then what could happen is that, also for context, a married husband and wife in ancient Rome always had their property legally separated. They didn't jointly own their property, generally. But if the woman's head of her family passed away, because she still technically belongs to her birth family, then her birth family could demand her property as their own. So a woman would need a tutor then in order to protect the property of her current family, more or less. Maybe that's not a great way of putting it. No. No thanks. Anyway, yeah, women's rights in the ancient world, am I right? Guess I go this away. No! Uh-oh. But back to the discussion about human rights in general now. And away from the tangent that was tutelage. So justice, of course, then comes from the word jus, as I mentioned that there's jus naturale, jus gentium, and jus civile, to try and use original pronunciations. Let me blow you up. Well, I got health. Okay. That same use later becomes juice, which becomes justice, roughly speaking. Great. I mean, hold on, now that I think about it, I think this heals me more. Emperor Antoninus Pius, from 138 to 161 CE, introduced the law of the presumption of innocence, which the legal proceeding of innocent until guilty started with him, is what that's saying. Oh, okay, I don't need money, but thanks for the offer. And, of course, Emperor Constantine in 313 CE, I didn't pay attention, that's okay, enacted the Edict of Milan, which allowed freedom of religion for everyone, and ended the persecution of Christianity. And I'll see what's in here, I'll also see what's in the shop. I think there's a lot of money in here. I'm not sure what you thought was in there. Now that's enough talking about Rome. Of note, Muhammad also preached a lot of social reform. See, I'm not such a Western man. I mentioned Muhammad. Particularly, Muhammad seemed to preach social reform in the areas, of social security, family structure, slavery, and minority rights. Ow. I'm using it. Blow me up, please. Okay, I don't think this is healing me as much as I hoped. But that's okay, I have a lot of bombs. Is that the only heart in there? I guess so. Wait, you're an explosion. Yeah! Oh, what an idiot. So, in the Middle Ages, a number of Catholic saints speculated on natural rights inspired by some of the works of the Apostle Paul's, his writings in the New Testament. In particular, St. Augustine speculated a lot on rights. Sure, I'll take a little gish, whatever, I don't care. Challenge is almost over. This eventually led to the Magna Carta, which was the famous document that curtailed the rights of the English king because he was a meanie, and established explicit rights for subjects. Ooh, I'm drowsy. Just checking. Yeah, deaths too. Wait. Oh, right, Curse of the Cursed. I thought that said Curse of the Blind for a second. I'm blind. And cursed. Get you out of here. Are any of these lucky? No, it doesn't seem like it. And I will go for the item room. That was not an that was an and. Trust me on that. So the Magna Carta, again, defined explicit rights for the king's subjects. In particular, and of special note, is the writ of habeas corpus. Latin for having the body in, but legally it meant the right to appeal. Hold on, I lost my place. The right to appeal unlawful imprisonment. So if you are ever unlawfully imprisoned, you too can enact habeas corpus and be like, why am I here? Will this work? No. Okay, it did. Thank you for all the health. Range up, luck down. Okay, whatever. Interestingly enough, in colonial Spanish America in the year 1550 to also 1551, a number of rights for indigenous people were established. Give that... No, I wanted that explosion. And, I mean, it feels insulting a little bit to talk about it, because it's kind of like, I mean, they're the natives. They're indigenous. They should have all of the rights. But for the history of rights in total, it is important to mention this. Just in terms of establishing a timeline of rights. And, yeah, I'll blow this up, whatever. In particular, the... what's it called? Laws of Burgos defined anti-child labor laws, women's rights, wage laws, suitable accommodations for indigenous peoples, and laws that defined rest or vacation. Oh no. What am I ever gonna do? Except bathe myself in bombs. I don't like blue, Mom. I say that every time. Get out of here. Go. Get. Anyway, it's looking like I'm gonna have to make a part 2 out of this. I did have a lot of to talk about today, and the challenge is at an end. So I'll take what I have left over and stretch it out, because that's the only appropriate response. Also, I'm a little lazy. Edit card. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Hope you learned something about the history of rights, especially in Rome, in ancient Rome. And women's lack of rights, I guess. I mean, women still had a fair amount of freedom in ancient Rome, more than you'd expect, but at the same time, a lot of their legal rights had to always go through men. So, hope you learned something today. Hope you enjoyed watching me suffer through the cursed challenge, and I hope I will see you again tomorrow for the second half of the History of Rights. Take care.